Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan, and it has been a year in which the White Rhino has returned to the big nights, the big spotlight. Dave Allen joins me to review his year. Dave, first of all, how you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you, mate. All good.
All good. Good to see that you're all good as well. And as we mentioned there, a year in which you've had the opportunity to return back to the big screens. A fight preceded that before. Just in your own words, how would you look back at your year?
Disappointing, really. It wasn't the year I envisaged, but a year in which I got a chance to box back in the big time, I guess, and financially, it was a good year, and I've got two kids now, so all in all, I have to be happy with it. But in a purely in a boxing sense, it was a big disappointment. But well, that's life.
That's life indeed. I quickly checked before this interview started to see if I'd spoken to you in the aftermath of it. I was quite surprised that I hadn't, but I know that you've spoken to other outlets, and I'd watched the interviews, but it's escaped my mind as to whether you've been someone who's watched it back on multiple occasions and dissected it. Have you done that?
Not really, mate. No, the fight, me and Frazer, the fight was awful, really. It was awful. I took the fight. It was for financial reasons. Financially, I needed to take it. There was nothing else really for me. You know, um, I wasn't in a position. There was no offers, and no one was. There was no 6 or 8 round, 10 round contest to build up, and I needed to box. So I took the Frazer Clarke fight. I thought, I sparred him years previous, and I was in good shape. I thought I was win, but I was too inactive and probably too heavy, and I was second best, and that is what it is, really.
Are you at peace with that performance?
Yeah, well, it's been and gone, mate. I'm 31 now, so it's been and gone. It was what it was. It was my best on the night. Very unhappy. It wasn't a good performance, but it was the best I could give on that night. I did give my best, and it was poor, but he's an Olympic medalist. I've not really had a proper fight for over 4 years, so it was tough. I definitely felt it. I felt the time out. He's a good fighter. You know, Been and gone, mate. No complaints. It's how it's done and been and gone, and you know, hopefully, hopefully I get another opportunity again. Hopefully, can take it, but who knows? It's not going to get any easier for me now at this stage. I'm not getting any younger, and defeats have racked up, and I'm a realist, so we'll see what happens.
I think this is one of the things where I think pre-fight you were kind of saying, you kind of establish what level you're at and you're looking for that British title. With Fraser, as you mentioned there, his Olympic background, he has that pedigree. Have you established what level you're at with what happened on the night, or do you still feel you have those aspirations at British?
I think I'm still around British title level. Um, I'm not a world beater, we know that been proven time and time again, but tough and strong and experienced, and I'm not pretty on the eye to watch, but I'm definitely strong and experienced, and like I say, I'm not good on the eye. People will watch and say he's not very good, but it's a different kettle of fish when you're in there with me. I'm a little bit harder to hit than you think. I'm definitely a lot stronger than you think and quite heavy-handed. So British title, like I say, over 4 years out. Fraser very active, and he couldn't really put a dent in me. I think with a bit more activity, it would have been a much more interesting fight, but that wasn't to be. So I can't. I don't want to say too much because he won the fight, and we both move on to wherever we move on to. So I wish him all the best, and hopefully I can come back and rebuild properly. You know, Having one round knockouts once every 12 months is not really what you need when you're facing a good fighter. But that's all excuses, and it is what it is. I'm 31. I've got a family now. I need to provide. So I would like to rebuild, but at the same time, I have to be honest. Financially, it's about making some money now because boxing's not going to be around forever for me. So we'll just have to see what happens.
We're getting towards that. Well, we are in the depths of the Christmas period, and everyone puts on weight during this point in time. But I'm an avid watcher of your social media, and you've been saying that you've kind of put on the weight at the moment. Does that hint at to your Does that hint, sorry, to your desire to return to the ring or not?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the gym. I'm always in the gym. Um, I've been putting on baby weight. You know, I had another kid 5 weeks ago. So yeah. The minute after the Clark fight, I had to go to the hospital due to an issue with my ear and my mouth, and I'm still not medically cleared to box. You know, it's a paperwork thing. You know, it's hard. The boxing board is inundated with uh, people trying to turn professional, medical issues, all sorts of stuff. So it's a paperwork thing. There was no nothing medically wrong with me. That's all clear now. I've got to have my MRI scan. I'm cleared to box, and then I can start to look at what's about. But you know, it's Christmas. So I've been focused on the fights that I train and manage, and my own boxing took a back step. But I'm always ticking over in the gym. You know, even though I might not look in great shape, I never really do. But I'm always ticking over a little bit. You know, I'm always, like I say, even when I was in bad shape, I can always churn out round after round. It might not be the highest quality, but I'm always gonna, you know, I can just be there and keep going. That's what I've always been about. So yeah, like I say, we'll see what happens.
So I believe it was on BBTV where you kind of talked about the potential of you and Johnny Fisher. I did ask Johnny, and if I remember correctly, he said he wasn't too sure about that being the case. So is that still open there, the possibility in 2024 that you're backing against Johnny?
Um, I can't think how long ago it was now. The matchroom matchmaker contacted me. It wasn't an official offer. They said, "Are you interested in the fight?" Which I said, possibly. Um, you know, it comes down to the financials always. You know, so it's a possibility. I like Johnny a lot. I think he's a great fella. But if the financials were correct and they would give me a fight beforehand, I'd be all over that. You know, if that would be too much but to ask of them, then the fight wouldn't happen. You know, I'm not we'll see, whatever we'll see. You know, I know I'm not in a position now to be calling any shots, and you know I'll probably have to take what I'm given. But the Fisher fight, I think it'll be a very hard fight to be honest. He's on the way up, and I'm on the way down. But if the money's right and I get a fair shot at giving my best, then it's something I'd be open to. But we'll have to see. I'm not sure, because that was a few months ago now when I spoke to him about it.
So is that your stance then? If it's going to come to a fight in 2024, it's give me a fight first, and then I'll be in with whoever you want it to be.
Yeah, you know, I still have ambitions to win. I still want to win. Every time I get in the ring, I want to win. You know, I do. I genuinely want to win. I still would like to win titles. You know, the British title was, and I was never going to be world champion in my eyes. I would never have them ambitions. Even as a young kid, amateur boxing, first starting out, I never thought I want to be world champion one day. I just wanted to box, and as I started as an amateur winning national title and stuff, I thought, oh, maybe I can win something. But it was never going to be world champion. You know, I'm just a fat, dumpy kid. You know what I mean? So it was never like I never had them ambitions. But I always thought I could be British champion, and a little part of me still does, really. Um, I don't want to say there's been worse British champions than me over the years, but I think if you get, it's all about getting the right opponent. Boxing is all matchmaking, you know. I could have gone 50-0 if I'd have boxed the right opponents. You know what I mean? I could have gone 0-50 as well. Depends who you box. So I'm not giving up on that dream. To be honest, I'm only 31. I'm younger than a lot of heavyweights that are still around. So I haven't given up all hope. But at this point now, a lot of it, like I said earlier, comes down to financial security for my kids, and yeah, I want to be a winner. So the fish fight gets offered, great. But let me have a few fights before. Give me the fights before. Matchroom, give me the fights before. You know, if Warren wants me for Dakers, all right, fine. Well, give me a fight before. Let me be at my best. So yeah, like with my boxing, like I just had a breather from it all. You know, um, it's been a mad 10 years really since the Dylan White fight. It's been non-stop. So I've enjoyed the last couple of months. You know, I've not really been David Allen the boxer. I've not been the White Rhino. I've just been a dad and just been a coach and just been chilling and not having to worry about him calling me out. I've got to fight him or I've got to worry about this. It's been nice. So when the medicals are done and I'm back in the game, uh, then we'll go from there.
So let me throw a final name before I move on to other things that concern you. Um, I think a fight that makes a bit of sense for both parties would be you and Nathan Gorman. What do you think?
I think it makes zero sense really because financially there's nothing in it now. It's like the thing is, it's like when they was get like he was offered marionettes, so I would hazard a guess I bought Frazer Clarke for probably 5 or 10 times more than he got for marionettes. So I could box Nathan next, or I could box Johnny Fisher for 5 times more than I could box Nathan for. And they're both hard fights, so I'll take the Fisher fight. Do you know what I mean? It's a business thing now.
Mm.
I spent many years. I bought Ortiz for peanuts and White and all of them for next to nothing. So at this point now, it has to be. It has to. It's about financial security. That's all. That's what it is for me. I still want to win. I still want to achieve things. But if you have me Gorman or Fisher, I'm taking the Fisher fight all day long. So I still want to win things, but financially now, it's up there. It's up there with my ambitions of winning things. I always want to win, but the financial stuff now is on a level playing it's level with the winning titles and stuff. So we'll see, mate. I don't know.
I respect your response there. I also respect your ability to balance your fighting career and your coaching progression as well too with the fighters that you have in your tutelage. How do you feel you've progressed as a coach, guiding them and them teaching you about yourself too?
Yeah, it's gone really well to be honest. When I started the coaching, I started training Danny Morel, started training him on the field, and everyone laughed really. And he ended up winning the regional amateur title, ended up having his pro debut, and he looked good as well. He looked good. And then I started working with a few others. Got Joe Hayden, who was 0-1 as amateur, one fight, lost it. He wasn't going to box again. He came down to me. He's now had 15 fights amateur and pro and won all of them. He's now 11-0, is a good prospect. Stevie Levy boxed the European title now, about to box for the first ever English title. I've got two other fighters about to turn pro. I've got another an amateur boxer, Joe's brother. So we're flying, really. We're flying. Um, it's difficult because when I was younger, I was a clown, but I played up to it because I was never a fool. I've never been anybody's fool. Um, you don't go from small old boxing to headline in the O2. It takes either a hell of a lot of talent or a little bit of brain, and I wasn't that talented. So I was very clever how I did it, how I maneuvered myself, social media wise and otherwise, to get there. So I was never anybody's fool. And with the boxing, I know what I'm on with. I'm not saying I'm the best coach in the world, but I've been around the best coaches in the world. Your Brendan Ingle, Dominic Ingle, Peter Fury, Jamie Moore, Darren Barker. Been around all of them, Adam Boo, all of them, and you listen and you learn and you take little bits of what they're doing, you add it all together, and you put your own flair, you put your own little bit of flair in it, and you do what you do. So the coaching is going really well. I would say it's more. I find it more enjoyable than the boxing myself. With myself, I've let myself down a little bit. I don't mind letting myself down, to be honest. But when I'm working, training and managing them, it's everything to me. I really, really enjoy it, and I just enjoy doing it. I like getting the best out of people. I think that's what I do. So it's going really well, to be honest. As you can see, I speak with a lot more excitement regarding that than I did the boxing. So but it's going really good. Yeah, and February 9th, GBM, we've got a massive show, and Stevie Levy's fighting for the English title, and Joe's on there as well. So we're flying. Yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah, Joe Hayden very active this year. He's been in a lot of four rounders, getting the experience. You're looking to push him further into more rounds heading into 24.
Well, he had 11. No, he had four amateur fights, and he got to the point where no one in our region would box him. Um, and we turned him pro. We turned a good friend of mine sponsored him. He sponsored him very like more than I ever got when I was boxing Price and Brown. All of them never got sponsored like that before. A really good friend of mine came on board and said, "Look, I'll back him to the end." So Joe's got an opportunity. He's had 11 fights. I think he had 11 fights in the first 15 months as a pro, which is unheard of. He's got the backing. He's got everything that he needs. But he hasn't got the experience. He's got the ability. He's got everything really. It's just experience. So he's had 11 4-rounders. February will be his 12th. Then we move on to 6 rounds. I only had amateur fights, and I jumped in with Wyatt and Ortiz, and experience is key. I've learned from my mistakes, and we'll give him every opportunity. That's what we're doing. People can say we're being too patient and we're doing this and we're doing that. Well, I'm just doing what I think's right. I'm just looking after him. You know, I think he's got a British title challenging him down the line. So yeah, we'll get the best out of him. That's it. That's all you can ever do. We'll get 100% out of him. You know, I didn't get that out myself, but I'm sure we'll get out of anyone that I work with.
Including hopefully Stevie Levy as she heads for the English title against Ebony Jones next year. Another active year for herself, but fell at the European hurdle in the final bout of her year. What do you take from that performance heading into that English title fight?
Well, I was managing her. I was been managing her for a couple of years now. Got a few wins, and she wanted to watch the world champion Guinini in Barcelona. I didn't really want that, to be honest. We'd just come off a win on Eddie's show. Eddie did me a favour and put her on there, and she was doing well, but she wasn't ready for the Guinini fight. I told her that, but she said, "David, I want to go over. Please let me go over and take my chance." And as a manager, I said, "I don't want you to go. And you're not going." And as a friend, she said, "Look, you've been there yourself. Just let me go and experience it, and let me just find out where I'm at." And eventually, she turned me around and said, "Right, get yourself over there." You know, she put a good game performance. She was second best, long way second best, but she put a good performance in. And then she rebuilt. GBM helped her rebuild. We rebuilt, and then a European title fight came up with 4 weeks' notice, and she was without a coach and said, "Look, will you start training me, please? And I want to fight for the European title." I watched her opponent was good, but I didn't think it was anything special. And I said, "Right, we'll go and do it." So went over there early on. The thing with Stevie is like she's very novice, you know. She comes from a white collar background, so early on it was a case. Look, you don't engage, you know. You know, she's full of life and wants to win everything, but I'm looking at it with experienced eyes. You know, her chin's a little high, and the Polish girl was good and sharp, and we just kept out of her way for a while. We frustrated her, and Stevie came on strong in the second half of the fight, and she won a couple of rounds, which I was over the moon with, to be honest. Because going over there, I was nervous.
Hmm.
Because first and foremost, I just don't want him to get hurt. You know, I don't want him to get hurt. That's the most important thing. So she put in a very good performance. We had a few offers when she came home, but the Ebony Jones one was the most appealing, really. Ebony was Team GB, and she's a very good fighter, and it's the first ever English title fight for the female. So you know, she can be the first ever female English champion. She'll go down history forever. So it's a stepping stone. It's a massive stepping stone. But for me, this is the first stepping stone to fighting for world honours, which I believe she will do one day. She's really surprised me with her ability. You know, it just needed. She's like a rough diamond. Just needed the edges chipping away at, and I'm really happy with her.
Difficult task for her against Ebony, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. Ebony obviously is a massive favourite. You know, when Steve was doing the white collar, Ebony was fighting in the European games, and she was winning everything as an amateur. And on the Great Britain squad, Stevie was raving and doing doing some white collar boxing on the side. So of course, yeah. But Stevie is a very very big super bantam. She's super fit. She's very tough. She's strong, and she's very very awkward. You know, made a lot of mistakes. If you look at a textbook of how to box, she's the complete opposite of it. But with a few tweaks and a few little bits here and there, we've made that. We're going to turn that into a positive and make her very very awkward to beat, and because she's fit and strong with it and tough, she'll be very hard to beat. So I'm very very much looking forward to it, and I expect her to win. I think Emily's a big favourite, but on paper, of course, I look at everything on paper, me with realistic eyes, but I expect Stevie to win, and I believe that she will.
And you've mentioned you got a couple of others who are joining your stable. I think Calvin's been out as well too. Who those are
Yeah,
joining? And are your hands not full with all the fighters that you've got?
yeah. I got Calvin Moyo. He's about to turn pro. He had 16 amateur fights. He won 11. Again, another one. I met him. He had one amateur fight and lost it. You know, and we've gone on a good run since again. Liam Carrigan, he was Yorkshire amateur champion. He's going to turn pro. So they've all come from. They're all kind of from day one, really. And that's how I like it. I don't want to take anyone else's hard work. I don't need a world class amateur. I want to do it from day dot. You know, because it's not about the financials. Probably cost me about as much as it does that you can ever get back training them. Do you know what I mean? So So I love it. I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. And I think between the four of them, we'll win a few titles. So yeah, it's going really good, and it is busy between the kids. Like today, I'm up at 5:15. Go to the gym at 7:30. I'm at the gym myself for an hour. Then I train them for a couple of hours. Then I'm with the kids all day. Then I'm training for another 2 or 3 hours, training them again, and then it's back to the kids before they go to bed. Then it's go to bed, and that's every day. That's 6 days a week. Get Sunday off. So it's good for me. Not only the boxing, and not only it's just good for this, because obviously back a few years ago, I'm still a little bit crazy, but not. I've just got everything under control, and it's just being busy, and it's just being active and having things to have my mind focusing on, and never better, mate. To be honest, yeah, things are going amazing.
Dave, just to close this out and bring it back to the boxing side of things on your side, I just wanted to know, it's been a year where we've seen, lots of prospects get hyped up, and eventually the pack gets shuffled and we see who is who and who isn't who. What do you feel for the current state of the domestic heavyweights now, with that being said, in the year where some have faltered and some have progressed?
Well, I think Fabio Ward is top of the pile if we're talking domestic heavyweights. I think he's well on his way to fringe world level. I think he's the real deal. He's really impressed me. Frazer Clarke's a big handful, good boxer. I think obviously he's 32. I'm not sure he'll go to the very top, but he's a very good fighter. I think Adelaide will come again. And there's a little crop underneath that as well. You Tommy Welsh and Mike Harris. I think still got a lot to come now, working with Peter Fury, and it's a good mix. It's a very, very good mix. Nathan, if he comes again, he's a very good fighter. So it's a good mix. It's a very good mix. Some very good fights being made. Between the old guard, myself, Nathan, and a few others, and then the young ones coming through. So yeah, but boxing is boxing. That is boxing. You're the top of the world one day, the best fighter in the world, and the next day you're no good. So that's what it is. And defeat comes to most of us. Only the Mayovers and the Marcianos and the Karzagis. The rest of us will have to feel like defeat one day. Hero to zero. That's boxing. But the thing is, you can go hero to zero. You win a fight, you're a hero again. I'm only one win away from being two from Joshua again. It is what it is. That's what it is. So, I remember losing to Tony Yoka. You should retire. You need to retire. This man needs to retire. People was even messing the boxing, but needs to retire. He's taking too much damage. 4 weeks later, knock out Nick Webb. And then another 9 months later, I beat Luke Brown at the O2. I'm the next heavyweight champion of the world, apparently. So we only have a one victory or one defeat away from the top of the world and the bottom of the pile. So this is boxing and this is life. It's human nature, So I've learned all that. It's all life experience. Finally, at 31, I think I'm getting the gist of this life carry on.
Slips and ladders, indeed, Dave. And that was your year in review. And much appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to Seconds Out. Hoping to speak to you very, very soon on all things boxing again. But for now, Dave, thanks again. Appreciate it.